Hi everyone, welcome you all. Today we are going to learn input and output in detail. So let's get started. To start my session, let's jump to IDLE and write some piece of a code. So before I should be writing a code, I have to go to my script mode. Okay, click on new and this will create a empty file. I'm going to save it first. Okay, so save and let's it be in my document. Let's say input underscore output.py. Okay, so this will be our file name. Let's save it and write some piece of a code now. Okay, so first of all, I'm writing a is equals to 10 and now I want to print its double. Okay, a multiplied by 2. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is save it and run in our system. Okay, so now you can see 20. Okay, I am going to move back to my code again and try to re-execute it. Okay, now when I re-execute it, it simply gives me 20. Okay, but what if I want some other value? Okay, then I have to change it in my file. So this process is really very tedious. Now what we are going to do, we are going to take an input, right? Now we are going to take an input. Let's say input and like this. Okay, and here is the message: enter any number. Okay, like this. Save it and run it. Now you can see enter a number. Let's enter a number 10. Now you will notice it is not going to calculate double, instead it is going to give you 10 and 10. Okay, why it is so? Because if we check the type of the value, let's print this, print type of a, you will find that whatever value I write, it is going to convert into a string, or we are getting string always. Okay, so input is a function which takes an entry from a keyboard but returns you a string. Okay, now to double this value we need to convert it into a number. Okay, so what we are going to do in the next line, no, or no is our new variable, is equals to int a. Okay, so now let us understand, in this line we have taken a value and stored it in a, and then it was in a form of a string. We need to convert into a number so that arithmetic operation can be performed. Okay, so here I have converted it. So let's try to run this and see. Okay, now number, and if I try to execute this program, now you will see 45 multiplied by 2 is equals to 90. Okay, so let us see what is going on. Here you can see I have converted into a number and then multiplied it by 2. Okay, so this is really long process. Now what you can do, you can do in one step only. You can write int here and then bracket and then close the bracket. Remember, you have to close two parentheses because you are opening two parentheses. First is this, and you can see first parenthesis closes here, and then second parenthesis starts from here and closes till here. Okay, in the absence of the parenthesis you will run into error. Okay, now we do not need these extra variables, or instead of a number I can use a. Okay, let's save this and try to run. Okay, now I'm going to enter some value, that is 500, and you will see 1000. And one more thing, now this time our variable has a type is equals to integer. Okay, so this is called casting or typecasting, where we are converting one data type into another. Okay, so input function returns you a string and it is then converted into integer with the help of int method. Okay, and then we have printed what is the type of this variable and then double of a. Okay, so this is really very simple. Now what if I enter a float value in this? Okay, so let's save it and run this program, and this time I'm going to enter some float value, let's say 0.25, and let's press enter. Okay, now you can see value error, invalid literal for int base with base 10 0.25. So basically what is going on is I want to convert it into a integer, but it cannot be converted into integer since we have a dot. Okay, so now what to do with the float values? You have a float function instead of an integer. Okay, so now if I try to execute this piece of a code 0.25 and let's enter, now you can see it is converted and multiplied by 2, and its data type is float. Now let's go back to our file and see. Okay, now here you can see enter any number is the message, and colon and slash is just used to beautify my code. Okay, if I do not use it, okay, my code will still work, but you can see it is not looking that good. Okay, 45 multiplied by 2 90, it is working perfectly fine, but it is not looking good. You can see this is much nicer. Okay, these are the little things you will learn when you will program more and you will get experience. Okay, so now let's move to our next topic, that is to print. Okay, now we can simply print these values. Let's have one more variable, let's call it b, and I'm going to copy this piece of our code here also, and let's have our colon and hyphen. And now what we are going to do, we are going to take a variable called c, a plus b, and I'm going to print sum is equals to comma, let's say c. Okay, this is a really very simple program which takes two number, okay, or real values, and then calculates the sum, assign sum to c, and then print the sum is equals to c. Okay, so this is how we can specify. So first of all I'm going to enter 5 and then 6 is equals to, obviously b is not defined, I have to see, you have to be very careful. So we have a v, and let's run this program, and again 5 and 6, you can see sum is equals to 11.0. okay, so this is how you can perform simple addition and print the values. Now what if I want a, the value of a here, let's say a comma plus comma v plus or equals to, like this. Okay, let us understand, I have used these values separated by a comma. These are called parameter which are passed to our function print. Okay, so we have passed multiple values here, a comma plus comma v comma equals to comma c. Okay, here this one and this one is a string, and these are our floating points. Okay, so we can pass multiple values. Let's run this. Okay, now same input 5 and 6. Now you can see 5.0 plus 6.0 is equals to 11.0. see how we have printed this. Okay, now you can see there is a space here. Okay, now we can customize this by typing a keyword argument called separator, or SEP, is equals to, let's say we are going to write here a dollar sign. Okay, let's save it and run this program. Once again I'm going to have 15 this time and 5, so that I will get a 20, but you can see instead of space I'm getting dollar. Okay, easy, because I have used a separator is equals to dollar. Okay, fine, I think this is clear to you. Now what if I again change it to space, and let's print another line, and this time I'm going to print double of a. Okay, so double of a is equals to a multiplied by 2. Okay, let's run this code, save it and run. I'm going to have a very simple value 2, and 4 is equals to 6, and you can see double of a is equals to 4.0. Now what if I want 2.0 here? Okay, what you can do, you can use double quotes here, comma a, comma double quotes. Okay, now let's run this program and write the values. So 5 here and 6 here, you can see double of 5 is equals to 10. Okay, I think this is really cool. Okay, one more thing I want to tell you is, when we are using a print statement, see, so line is printed, and after the line is printed there is a change of a line. Okay, and then when we print another statement is printed on the next line. Okay, now what if I'm going to change its end terminator to something else, let's say /t. Okay, remember /t is used for tab. So what I'm expecting is, after printing the line, I must get a space here, and then new line will begin at the same line. Okay, let's run this program, and 45 plus 90 is equals to 135. Now you can see we have a space. So now what you can do, you can customize the separator, okay, that will be placed in between these variables, and character will be added at the end of the line. Okay, for example, if I use a colon here and try to execute this program, and now you can see 56 and 89, you can see we have a column at the end of the line. Okay, so these are the two parameters which can be used with the print statement. I think print is clear to you. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we are going to write a simple program to calculate kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is equals to 1 by 2 mv square. Okay, mv square, we have a caret sign and like 2. Okay, so what we need to calculate kinetic energy is mass and velocity. Let's take a input. M is equals to, let's say, input enter mass like this, and V is equals to input velocity, let's say like this. You can have enter here. Okay, now if I try to write like this, Ke is equals to 1 upon 2, that is 0.5 multiplied by m into v, and to the power, let's say we are going to have square 2. Okay, like this. If I try to execute this piece of a code or expression, then kinetic energy is equals to, let's say, Ke, it will result into error. Okay, guess why I should be getting error? Okay, see, if I try to execute my code, I said 4 and 5, and straight away I'm getting error. Okay, cannot multiply sequence by non-int of type float. Okay, what does this mean? This means that v is a string and we cannot calculate power of a string. Okay, so we are going to correct our code, and what we are going to do, we are going to convert this into a float and float and float, let's say float. Okay, now let us run this program and see whether my code executes properly or not. 2 and 3. Now you can see my kinetic energy is calculated 9.0. Okay, hope you got this. So this is all for today. Hope you have learned. Now it's a time to have some practice questions, and the first question is enter three numbers and print sum. Okay, and next question is enter length and breadth and find oblique print area of rectangle. Okay, so these will be your two practice questions. Okay, hope you will do it, and if possible send me a screenshot. Okay, I will really appreciate that. Thank you, and that's all for today. Hope you have enjoyed it. Goodbye, bye bye, thank you.